With Starfield Shattered Space being right around the corner, there are some things that I thought Bethesda absolutely must do in order to make this DLC a big success. One of the obvious things is simply stick to your promises. We've heard that this DLC will be huge, and the Discover 50 Locations achievement certainly proves that, but I definitely feel like the number one thing that we still need to mention is just that Bethesda absolutely need to nail exploration in Shattered Space. You all know how much I love Starfield, but the exploration, for me anyway, simply isn't as fun as previous Bethesda Game Studios games. Don't get me wrong, Starfield's exploration isn't outright awful, it's certainly decent, but compared to previous Bethesda games, it really does feel like a big swing and miss. But with this upcoming Shattered Space DLC, they have said that they're going back to their traditional exploration, at least in a sense. So if that is the case, I have no doubt that Shattered Space will have great exploration like basically every other Bethesda Game Studios game outside of Starfield, but it is nonetheless still something that Shattered Space absolutely must nail. Being able to discover new cities, caves, outposts, random encounters, all on the same map is going to feel really good in Starfield. This is more of a personal thing, but I really hope that Shattered Space does bring in a lot of those horror elements that they keep promising. Space and sci-fi can be an amazing setting for horror. I've expressed before how much I wish Starfield had horror elements, but this DLC truly does feel like they are diving into it, and I couldn't be more excited for that element of this DLC. But in order for this to be good, again, like the exploration, they need to nail it. It can't just be one short quest where you fight some freaky looking alien monster. That's not really horror. If they really want to nail the horror vibes here, then we need more. I've said it before and I will continue to say it until I get this. Trap me on a space station without my weapons and force me to run and hide from a terrifying monster. Basically make a quest inspired by Alien Isolation. And look, there are obviously smaller things that Shattered Space doesn't necessarily need, but could make the DLC go from good to great, or even great to perfect. One of those things being a new companion. And look, I am the type of person where I simply just will not use any crew members or companions unless they have a like or dislike system besides Vasco. The fact that Starfield only has 4 actual companions with some emotion and story is really insane, especially coming after Fallout 4, which had over 10 companions and most of them all had really great personalities and even some personal quests. 4 companions just feels like a huge step back, and I really hope that Shattered Space brings us at least one new companion. It would be great if it was somebody we could actually recruit to Constellation. I feel that it would be really cool going from the person who was recently recruited to the person doing the recruiting, or maybe even a somewhat evil companion, because we do need a follower that likes when you murder, lie or steal. Who am I supposed to bring with me on my evil playthrough? A companion with 0 personality? Yeah, no thanks, I would rather travel alone. Now, another small thing that Shattered Space again doesn't necessarily need, but it would be awesome, is to just add a new land vehicle. Obviously we very recently got the Rev 8 and it's extremely fun, it's a straight up game changer, but I think that we can all simply agree that adding more variety is never a bad thing. If Shattered Space came with a new motorbike that we could ride around, for example, or even just another rover but in a different style, I would really welcome that. And there are already some great Rev 8 mods out there that Bethesda could easily take some inspiration from. Honestly, my only problem with the Rev 8 so far is that I can only have one companion on them at a time, and to be honest, I only have that problem because I use a multiple companion mod. So besides Vasco, of course, who gets his own seat, I can only fit one companion with me. I also really hope that Shattered Space brings in some new mechanics to the game too, like how Fallout 4's Automatron added in robot building. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be that extreme, like it doesn't have to be this massive game-changing thing, but just some kind of new mechanic would be awesome. Maybe Star Station building, which is something I know a lot of people want, although that feels like it could honestly be a DLC by itself. I don't know what, I just hope that we get some kind of new mechanic that we'll start using like every time we play Starfield, even in the base game outside of the DLC. And finally, another big thing that Shattered Space 100% definitely needs to nail is the House Va'ruun lore. We still know surprisingly little about House Va'ruun, and since this DLC is all about them, I really hope that we just learn a ton about their lore and history. I also think that Bethesda really needs to make an effort to make us feel like a member of House Va'ruun if we chose that religion when creating our characters. Make us feel a lot more welcome to the planet maybe, make characters without that religion or background feel less welcomed, like maybe the House Varun zealots or whatever are just more weary and aggressive towards us when we first get to the planet. Anyway, that is basically everything that I wanted to say in today's video. Please do let me know in the comments what you're really hoping to see or get out of Shadow Space when it drops in just a few weeks. If you are new around here and you want to stay up to date on everything Starfield, consider subscribing, it would really mean a lot. Lastly, as always, a huge, massive thank you to our channel members for their continued monthly support. It really means the world, guys. But with all of that said and done, we are going to wrap up. So thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.